2020 GSL Season 3 Codes Last Stand.
Calling, then you stop calling. I'm not used to hearing the sound of silence. Your lips have been silent.
So TY advances, but I think that is the most expected result out of all the possible results in the round of 16, right? We kind of knew that was going to happen. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because these are three dreamers in this group. I know one is named Dream. I'm not trying to make a pun here. These are three guys that have shown so much potential. They're not the players that we've had anywhere near as much of in the past, right? They're all looking strong. Right now, these two players are fighting to not get eliminated. Pillars of Gold is going to be the first map. Armani and Dream. I think maybe Dream, but I'm not sure. What do you think?
Yeah, I lean towards Dream, but this is the matchup I'm least confident in him in.
Okay, yeah. Well, the game is ready. Let's now eliminate the first player in the round of 16 in the final season of the GSL for 2020.
왕국의 전투가 펼쳐진다. GSL을 위하여. 전투 지원이 들어왔다. 함께일 때 우린 더욱 강하다. 아프리카 프릭스, 아르마니, 박진영. 브레이브스타 게임, 라운드 오브 6 조종 TY.
So you can see these guys have a history. It's not, can't take a lot from this, okay? 0-2. It's not as exciting as our 0-0 with TY and Zoun. I know. I know you guys were just cheering when that graphic came up, but I think Armani can do this. I think Zoun kind of looks stronger, at least to me, but I think Armani's improved so much. And Armani played a really obtuse game earlier here. I mean, Zoun was really making him work for it.
Yeah,
you know, that was like
him into a corner,
crazy cannon rushes, and yeah, I mean, it was.
Yeah. And
so,
you know what? He had two Terrans in this group. He knew he'd play Terrans multiple times, probably.
Right.
Because he probably didn't expect getting last, probably didn't expect getting first. So when you put that together with the fact that he lives with Special, his ZVT should be very well prepared.
That's a good point. I forgot. Yeah.
And Special knows TY inside out and actually has a somewhat similar style, not exactly the same, but
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to be well prepped for this matchup.
So,
Round of 16.
think about Dream is going to be, you know, is. Yeah, that's a good point actually. All prep would point to being good again in a ZVT.
Yeah.
And I think Dream is good. I don't think he's the fanciest Terran though.
He gets a little bit technical in this matchup where he does things like Hellbat BC or something like that, right? Like he'll mix it up. I don't feel like he is unbeatable in this match by any means.
Okay. Again, the Reaper's still swooping in here. Armani is a very, very strong player that. And we mentioned this earlier, but the show's we've actually been live for a long time. This is one of our longer days, so I'm going to repeat this. This is a guy who struggled as a pro gamer. You know, I think a lot of times people don't know how to think about esports and different players. I want to posit this theory. It's a lot like Broadway. There's a lot of people trying to make it, and this is not just StarCraft 2. This is just true for, I think, pretty much all esports. There are people that do very, very well. They make a lot of money. I know pros where money is not an issue. Not for, if they could stop doing what they're doing now for a long time, they'd be fine. And then there's this, you go down a layer or two, and this is where the Broadway thing comes in, because there's plenty of Broadway actors that are killing it. I guess nobody's killing it now with coronavirus, but imagine that we were not in the pandemic. Armani's one of those guys that's getting by. You know, he's a hard-working player, and tournaments like this are everything.
Yeah. He was thinking of retiring, he said in some of his interviews, you know? Because it is tough as one of the lower level pros, which is why you sometimes see people talk about flattening prize structures. How do you do things for the lower level pros?
Correct.
And then some people, oftentimes very foolishly, are just like, no, it's fine. If they don't win, they don't win. And it's like, well, no, because the great pros stand upon the corpses of the medium pros, which stand upon the corpses of the low-level pros.
This is something I would like to eventually have another discussion about, too, because there's so much here, but people not understanding the economics of an esports scene.
Yeah.
You know, and being like, yeah, well, I mean, first place should take it all, or take, you know, and it's like, okay, but then how do we have enough people that are going to do this?
Look, every now and then a tournament like that can be fun, but it just doesn't make sense. Like, Armani almost retired. He's a really great player.
Right.
If you have all the Armani-level players retire, we have, like, 16 players left.
Yeah, well, then you end up with something small, like even 8 players, and then there's these guys that are the jobbers that show up and get completely dunked on.
It starts looking like old Warcraft 3 or old Quake 3, right?
Where
it's like the same people every event.
And this was an issue in both Warcraft 3 and Quake 3, where if you followed Warcraft 3 as an example, you go there and go, it's those same guys.
Yeah.
It's just the same few people. And look, there's definitely repetition with players who are on top, but there's a lot more players overall in StarCraft 2. But yeah, so, you know, Armani, I feel for this guy's story. You know, I'm sure you can relate to it. For people that have grown up not really making much money playing StarCraft, you empathize with somebody who's got the passion and the hard work to do it.
I'm a king of not making much money playing StarCraft.
Yeah. You're actually the champion.
I'm the champion.
You're like the Flash of not money playing StarCraft, pretty much.
Unfortunately, it's like, it's the worst type of champion, the type that doesn't pay.
Yes, yes. It's a thankless journey. Let me tell you.
It truly is.
And so, yeah, I mean, you know, for all these players, though, Zoun and Dream as well, I mean, this tournament is a lot. Like, TY is so successful. This guy, Cass, is paid to cast and then is also like, I might just take the whole prize pool, too. You know,
Rich get richer.
Yeah. And so these players all come from different walks of life and different places in their careers. And so I want to put that forward here. It's exciting for these new players, but it's hard. And I know he's not new, but he's newer and he's finally getting results he didn't have before.
Well, he's still up and coming.
Right.
And he's been pretty steadily up and coming, you know, for 8-9 seasons, whatever we're on now.
And now we're here in the round of 16. He's debuting. He's playing for his tournament life.
Yeah, and he's putting together a fine game here. He's got 2-2 on the way, a little bit ahead of Dream. Baneling Speed's about to finish. He hasn't really been attacked yet. His creep is looking decent. Here comes that first attack, headed towards Armani's 4th. And, of course, this is a really important part of the game when you go after that 4th base.
So we have the Medivacs coming through here.
Oh, he's actually just going to go to the main?
Yeah, this is unusual. I don't see anything here to defend besides the Queen that's always going to be there.
Well, a Queen does not defend very well against 16 Stim Marines.
Yeah, it looks like the Extractor is going to get exploded, and then... Wow, perfect control there by Dream. There's a counterattack, though, here from Armani. He's trying to see if he can't even this out a little bit. I think the depot wall was a good call there.
Yeah, slow it down a little bit.
And there's options to try to hit the 4th here if he wants. There is an Overlord there to spot, which the Medivac can see. But I would say so far Armani's defense is fine. Dream's defense is fine. We're having these skirmishes. Not a lot of impactful results so far, but now comes the push. And the Zerg did not actually tear down the wall there. That's pretty important because now he can put tanks behind here. This might actually, depending on how the fights go, cost Armani the game or at least an expansion.
Yeah, that's very scary.
This is geographically like the worst thing that can happen to a Zerg.
Well, it looks like he's going to counterattack, which means he's just going to give this base up.
Yeah, well, he might have to just sack this. I think the position is one where if he keeps trying to fight for it, he loses it.
Muta's going to try to... No way.
God.
Not even close.
A little bit of miss micro there by Dream, but now these Mutas can get sandwiched. Armani does get in here and does kill the SCVs, but back at home, the push is going to continue on. Now I think Terran might be able to get the 4th and possibly start to push into the 3rd. Meanwhile, Armani is expanding into the bottom right to make up for the lost base he just that was just destroyed.
Well, he's about to have 2-2, so that's definitely something for him here, but losing that 4th base is always very painful. His counterattack definitely was reasonable, and it looks like Dream going to pull back right now. But that, of course, means there's enough units at home that there's no real chance of Armani getting more damage done right now.
Okay, so now what are we going to have here exactly from Dream? It seems like Dream has a lot of momentum, right? We got to see how every Baneling connects. It's very important here. Terran is, I think, probably looking to come in here and get the second rocking blow. You know, already Armani's been rocked once. Now we got to see, is it the next attack in here? Can he take out what looks like it's the third base now, or even this base in the bottom right? Both, I think, are pretty viable. It does look like counterattack options are, like, kind of not really there for Armani right now. Those Lings are cleaned up. We have some more units going all the way around, but you got to be careful, too, with Zerg, especially after you lost your first base, because if you're counterattacking with too much stuff, then you still lose your expansion. Yeah. And it just becomes this game where your head's underwater until you're out. And that's a Zerg that just can't get a fourth base and keep it.
Okay, it looks like he's trying to do a little Ling counterattack, but there's way too many units there. Big attack coming in from Dream once again. Not a lot of creep here for his defensive purposes, unfortunately. Good spreading from Dream.
Okay, so now the Banes are going to come forward here. We got a lot of splitting here. These Banes are connecting very well, though, but it looks like Terran has enough. And this could be the breaking point for this base down here. And again, Armani cannot afford to keep losing these bases.
No, this is not looking very good for him right now. He tried to engage with the mutas there for a minute, but just took a bunch of damage, lost some mutas, and then flew out. The hatchery goes down, and Armani sitting here. I mean, he's retaking that other fourth base, but how long is he going to hold it for?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Right now, Dream is looking like your classic solid Terran.
Yeah.
He's pushing, he's crushing, he's basically getting huge victories in the game. And then his defense is good enough that he's not really suffering any losses. Now, finally, that wall that needed to be torn down so that we would not have even been in this situation before, Armani kills it, but it may be too late. Right now, we need Armani to fight back and win bigly, where there's no way for Terran to actually keep the pressure on. And I don't know if that's possible, even with perfect control.
Well, right now, Dream clearing creep on the sides, just kind of poking at the sides, not doing any full frontal attacks right now, and I think that's a good idea. I think slowing it down right now while he waits for 3-3 is very, very strong, right? Like, if he's going to be up 2 upgrades and maxed out for the next push, how does Armani ever hold that?
Yeah, a nice pickup over here, too. But again, I feel like Dream's handling this really, really well. Armani's having little victories here or there. Oh my God, even hitting the mutas. That could be bad, man, because the pushes are going to come and the mutas need enough health to actually hang on and hold a fight. Now, this might be the moment where Armani can actually get his own.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a decent move.
Yeah, this is
but
actually not
Armani
enough.
does not have enough for the next push. 3-3 is finishing.
Yeah, and the supplies, I think, also tell the real story here is that Terran has more. Terran is almost the Zerg right now.
It honestly feels like an attack move might win this game, or just very minimal splitting, right?
Yeah.
Banelings would need the ultimate connection to hold on against this army.
Yeah, if this were TY or Innovation or Maru playing, I would say it's physically impossible to win. Dream's had moments where he doesn't split as well, but, you know, it's starting to look like the walls are really closing in here.
Yeah, it would have to be some pretty poor splitting. Here comes some Banes. Just not really getting any connections. Nice micro here from Dream.
GG. Okay, Dream looking very scary.
Yeah.
You know, we saw Dream hang on against TY, and then you put Dream against Armani, and Dream is just, everything went really well. Now, I do want to point out that moment Armani was trying to open up those rocks, he didn't do it in time, and that's a really good position for those tanks.
Oh, that
anything where you have like a minimal amount of ground between, like, how do I say this? Okay, hold on a second. There's the third base or the fourth base, and then there's the tanks, and then there's something that cuts it off, but the tanks can fire over it, and everything else is going to complement it. It's a nightmare.
It reminds me, actually, now that I've seen that push right there, it reminds me of some of the Catalyst games we saw where Maru just abused.
Yeah.
Like when he upset Leenock in that round of 32 match.
Yeah, it's one of these games. Well, I like that. It's one of those games where, like, that wall is there for Zerg to tear down.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Death Aura for Game 2 and see if Armani can come back or if he's out of the GSL.
전복의 전투가
Our game's loaded up, guys. Let's go.
GSL을 위하여. 아프리카 프린스 아르마니 박진영. 브레이브스타 게임 드림 조종혁.
Dream, back from the military recently, had a great season last time, right? He made it right into the round of 8. He was looking very, very strong, and then of course he hit Rogue, who was the eventual champion, and got completely smashed. Here he's playing against Armani. I mean, he looked very, very good against Armani in Game 1, and it definitely, I mean, Armani has to step up. I guess what I'm trying to get to is that this is Armani's first round of 16.
Yeah,
And he shouldn't expect too much, I think.
we don't. I mean, the reason why Royal Roaders and players like that are so exciting is because it's almost like fan fiction.
It's
It's
unbelievably
like
rare.
bad Hollywood writing where I'm like, yeah, okay, but come on. I mean, that's not even how this actually works, right? The game's too hard. So, yeah, I mean, the round of 16, you've already gone through the first half of all the players in GSL Code S.
Yeah.
And that means you're in the second level of monster players, where everybody's godlike, everybody's so good. And there's a few players that are clearly going to go to the round of 8 no matter what, like TY.
Yeah, TY and Dark and
Like
Maru.
you had to sit in the gorilla cage with TY. Okay, sorry about that, but maybe maybe
the gorilla cage with TY.
you know.
And then you and the gorilla attack him at once, and he kills both of you. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no.
And so like it's hard. I mean, these players are better. These are the guys that didn't survive. They managed to beat 2 players in your previous groups. So Armani looks good, but like again, it seems like Dream was maybe 10% better on all fronts.
Yeah, at
And
least.
that was a pretty straightforward mechanical game. I would say that not killing the wall in time was a decision mistake. Like, you know that they're going to push there.
Well, it was kind of interesting because he did the double drop into the main base, which drew a bunch of attention, and then he didn't have time to kill the wall anymore. So I think
that's
that
true.
was probably built in by Dream, to be honest.
When we were talking about it earlier, you were saying, why would he drop now? This is weird. Okay. And then it was
you
held
don't normally
off.
see that because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you got like 2 drones, but you could have cleared creep tumors that lead to the 4th. But
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
like, no. He had a whole nother plan there.
Yeah, and then we see it happening with the tank sieging up, and you go, oh, man. And look, Armani fought back and fought well in that game. And that's sort of been the story of him all day today, is fighting back really well and then being killed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty beautiful setup by Dream. Although I do feel like Armani's mostly just been reacting to stuff all day.
Well, he is the Zerg player, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that
there's-
is what Zerg is usually.
Generally, I mean, some people have a style of their own and will do that, but Zerg is generally played in a reactive manner.
The best Zerg, whatever race has the passive role in the matchup, is the reactive race always. They're the ones that are like, okay, I'm trying to stop you from stopping me, because if you don't stop me, then I get to be the out-of-control player in the game.
Yeah.
These roles are probably more true in StarCraft 1, but Zerg and StarCraft 2, definitely that's the role. People are trying to push out and stop them somehow, some way, and Zerg's trying to do every trick in the book to slow them down.
Yeah.
And that was Dream coming in there with just a really great setup in that game.
Now, speaking of setups, it looks like BC Tech on the way. Like I was mentioning before, sometimes he does teched out
Banshee.
builds. Well, he wants
no,
something
you're right.
building.
BC Tech. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's just in case for the Overlord peeking in, so you think that there's a Banshee on the way. But I mean, with Roaches coming, you might actually just let this finish. Just make the Banshee, block the Roaches, and then make your BC. It's much better that way. But yeah, this already looks very good for him. But I was going to mention, he has cool builds like, for instance, BC Hellbat.
Right.
Which personally, I don't really like any Hellbat build. I think it's a stupid unit. But
Yeah,
You know.
I'm actually not a fan of it.
Hellbat all-ins, I'm just like, yeah.
When I see the Hellbats, you know, they morph into Hellbats away from the drones, and the guy's like, all right, and just moves the drones away. It's like,
exactly.
did you not know I can do that? I know that trick.
Hellbats are slow.
Make my workers run away.
Yeah. Okay, some nice micro here from Dream. Of course, the Banshee just putting constant damage on is making this extremely hard for Armani to really get any damage done. Ravager's gonna go home. I mean, you know, those roaches, they don't really get much done. Couple SCVs, but they also keep the Hellions off your back a little bit, right? The Hellions can't be removing creep and maybe poking in, getting a drone or two or whatever. So it does something. It's not what he was looking for, though. Now, a couple factories being added, so this is going to be mech with BCs. It'll be interesting to see how Armani wants to fight against this, because sometimes people go lots of Corruptors, Roach Ravager type situations, and but there's multiple ways you can try to approach this. You know, some people still like Swarmhost Nidus against mech. Of course, the BCs are there, so you have to count that in. Okay, that was a good scout.
Yeah, that was actually great. He knows what he's in store for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Spire goes down.
I think there's a reason why Dream's going for BCs in this game.
I think because he's going mech. I think BCs pair pretty well with mech.
I guess let me rephrase that. Why not just do something similar to what you did in the last game? Is what I was trying to get at. Why? Because it seemed like his push was so strong.
Well,
I understand that BCs pair with mech. What I mean is like,
yeah,
he looked like bigger, faster, stronger.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think also game one, it did have a lot to do with that sick push, right?
Yeah. Doesn't have
this
a setup
map doesn't
for it.
have a setup, yeah, where tanks are invincible. So maybe he's looking at this and saying, you know what? It's a pretty good map for mech. Your opponent's kind of far from you. You can throw down your 3-4 bases relatively easily. There's dead space in the back here for the BC. Like, why not?
Yeah, I guess it's a good point. The way the map is shaped, there's just so much you can do with this.
Spire going to be finishing up. Second BC coming across the map. Third BC on the way.
Okay, he does escape back home to repair. Very important to not lose the BCs with this.
Yeah, very important.
Almost never happens, but you're just getting... I mean, it's so much cheaper to repair a BC than have to make another one.
Okay, 9 Corruptors on the way. So that's enough to really push the BCs back quite a bit. Does have that +1 missile attacks. Going to be finishing up Roach speed as well. We haven't seen Armani really commit to exactly what it's... Okay, there we go. Infestation Pit on the way.
Okay, guns down, 1 queen. Dream going to escort the battle cruiser just off creep.
Corruptors are out now, so they'll shake their little tails and get over here to fight this off.
Saves the Overlord.
Saves the BC.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, saves the BC, yeah. And this is quite a commitment into Corruptors here.
Ah, yeah, he's gone up to 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've seen some kind of cool plays with the Corruptors where you push the BCs back and then you just start vomiting on buildings.
Yeah, it's... the only problem is the Corruptors don't fight ground, so you invested a lot into muting the BCs, but the Terran does have a ground army.
Yeah. Well, you know... Oh, a Nidus. Okay.
Now, that's funny, because there's a bunch of Corruptors made.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know...
Oh, you know what? His Overseer's randomly in the back and wasn't cleaned up. I bet you this was reactionary because of that.
I think you're correct.
Because you
I
pop
think
out
there's
on
2
top the armor.
armories
Yeah.
he can actually,
Yeah.
as the armor upgrades start to come. You know, with mech, if you stop the armory upgrades, it's crazy.
It's nice. BC gonna teleport out of there. Oh, he actually is gonna go Swarmhost with this as well. I was wondering about that. Because
Okay.
a lot of times you just want to pair with that, but I'm like, you know what? You could actually pop out Ling Ravager, pick off the armories, and get out.
You could even get more than one Nidus Swarm, too, if you wanted to. Something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I like double Nidus Swarm play. I've only
I
seen
actually-
like Cyril do it.
I feel like we saw it a couple times, and I thought, yeah, why would you not make 2 of those? It's not
that expensive.
It's not that expensive. 2 is way better than 1.
Yeah, you'd think Rogue
2
would
is
have done
like
that
3
more.
times better than 1.
Yeah, I think I saw Rogue do it once and Cyril do it once as far as tournament
Yeah.
play goes. That's about it. Well, they're the best 2 Zergs, right? So
Yeah. But as a concept, I don't feel like it's that It's not like, oh, Nidus worms, 2 of them, how do you do that? It's like, well, you make 2 of them, dummy.
Dummy.
Okay, 9 drones killed there. That was definitely worthwhile. Now we have the Swarm Host coming in. Now, once you've shown the Swarm Host, Terran knows what he's in for, so he needs to know how to react to everything. And so you're taking out what you can. Now, this is great. Comes in here, takes out the BC. Another BC is taking damage. Is it going to be saved? It's not. Oh, pukey time.
Yeah, I can't fly away from the puke. All right, well, I mean, that was okay. The Locusts themselves didn't do that much, but
yeah.
He picks off some BCs.
And so now the Nidus play is going to be to hit from different locations to abuse the immobility of the mech in whatever way that you can, to have the Nidus, the Swarm Host pay for themselves. Now we can't even have the CC land.
It's the least of his problems right now.
Right. And yeah, this is going to be a fight where Dream has to try to basically push out on all sides and win. Zerg is trying to control growth here, and I love this. Goes down on the tanks, takes those out. You just find what you can kill and go for it. Is it a turret? Is it a gas geyser? Whatever.
Yeah, he's being so efficient here.
Oh, man, and now the Corruptors are going to come through here. It takes out another BC, and I feel like Armani is suddenly, the stars are aligning here.
Yeah, he's slamming him here. Oh, there's a Nidus. His battle mech roaming a little bit.
Okay, you know, things are quieting down for a second here, but I do think the damage has been done in a lot of ways. I think Dream is hurting.
Yeah.
We got to see, can the Swarm Host be sniped and killed? Can the Nidus just be shut down permanently? And can Terran try to get growth, especially there in that upper right area? I know we were mentioning earlier that's the last of his worries right now, but really it's sort of, the whole point is for him to get out there and get another base and keep growing right now. Because right now it's just, oh my God. Even
well, he's not expanding and he's not doing damage.
Yeah,
right?
and he's starting to lose units everywhere. And I do feel like this is a pretty masterful play here from Armani. It was kind of one of the reasons why I was wondering about going mech. I know it might be better on this map, but it seems like Armani's so much better at handling this.
Yeah, it might be. Maybe he switches back to bio after this game, right?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, this is what a best of 3 is for.
Under attack.
Okay, so the Roaches are going to come forward now. And we're kind of waiting to see, like, when will these Swarm Hosts get shut down? I don't know that they can. Oh, wow, that's a great time to come in there with those Roaches.
Sure is.
Right when the mules land.
Oh, he's just killing everything. I think that's GG.
Yeah, I don't see him coming back. In fact, even the CC now taking so much damage.
Yeah, the Corruptors coming in for the flank during that was just beautiful.
And I'll tell you what, this is a great comeback here from Armani. Maybe Dream comes up with something, but I think, you know, the math is there. I just don't know how you would ever grow on this map again, let alone push out across the map and kill the Zerg.
No, totally. Well, he's trying to be as efficient as he can here, right? Like, he's using some battle mech, he's using his scans, killing off Roaches. Armani doesn't care, though. He has so much. Look at that. Another swarm of locusts coming in. Meanwhile, you're, like, picking off some Roach Ravager, which Armani, by the way, can buy again.
Yeah. And this base, I don't know what it's going to be mining again. There's another Nidus now in the main. I would not be surprised if Dream taps out after this counterattack, basically fails.
Yeah. Well, he's killing the units reasonably well. It's just he doesn't have a lot going on at home.
Yeah, well, there's going to be more produced behind this, and there's not going to be, I think, a way to grow back into the game.
And he's deep on creep at this point, right? He is just running through purple areas. That'd be kind of cool if you got a lot of Overlords. Armani's bank is not infinite.
That's true.
It's not like that TVT we were watching earlier.
Yeah, but his supply is in the nosebleed area, Artosis. He's got a lot in this game here. And again, the Terran is just in shambles, never able to use his base, and now we see things like tanks possibly being targeted. No? Yes?
I think he doesn't even know what he wants to do. Lands him and gets like one volley.
Takes those injured Roaches, remakes there. Yeah, I think we have GG in a second here. I don't...
Dream doesn't really... I mean, I guess as long as you got an army, you can fight Tasteless. To the last mech.
We do allow it in the tournament, Artosis. Wow, just taking out those siege tanks with ease.
Just every time you get a lock on, you're so efficient with the Cyclones.
Yeah.
So maybe you
Well,
feel
maybe
like
there's
you
a
can do
small
something.
shot that he's so inefficient that Dream can come back.
Well,
but
we only see roaches being made, right? So if he can just kind of put an end to the Stormhost harassment, I guess that's where you can really fight back as Dream.
yeah, well, if he keeps just attacking here with Roach Ravager, it's not going to trade efficiently.
Yeah. Feels like you should consider going into something else.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused why we're still seeing these units here.
Honestly, even if he just popped out like 3 or 4 infestors, let him grow some energy, that would be quite helpful because then you can't really get kited. I don't know, do you call it kiting when they lock on and you just run away?
It's sort of like kiting. It's not exactly kiting, right?
No.
So, I don't know, guys. I feel like we're just going to watch this base slowly get destroyed and the Terran.
You can't
Do
hit
their
things that
darnest.
fly, though. What about that, Tasteless?
Yeah, what about that? Riddle me that, Artosis. Dream is a fighter.
Yep. He does not want to go out here. Hit round of 8 last season, only losing to the champion.
So I think after this game finishes up, we'll go into game 3.
All right. A nice flank here.
Yep, GG at last. That was took us a while, but we got there.
Yeah.
The writing was on the wall.
I wonder if he is going to pull back into bio play now because, his Golden Wall is actually our next map, so 100% bio. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen mech here.
No, I think you can't go mech there.
No.
Can't
Like,
dominate.
oh, look how many Hellions I have.
Yeah.
It's like,
Which platform will I control with him?
yeah, exactly.
Okay. We move on into the last game for one of these two players. And again, Zoun
right.
is waiting just around the corner.
Yeah.
Armani and Dream on Golden Wall, one of our most unique maps. I don't know what to expect. I don't know who's going to win. Dream looked very strong in game 1 with the bio play. Armani fought back with brilliant Nidus Worm and Swarmhost play in game 2. And anything could happen on Golden Wall, so let's see what happens on game 3.
영광의 전투가 펼쳐진다. GSL을 위하여. 아프리카 프린스 아르마니 박진영.
I'm stealing one of the energy drinks on the desk.
Nice.
We're going into the night late.
조종.
Hot 6.
Bring me there, Hot 6.
Oh, it will. That stuff will pep you up. Saw some people,
The white one's quite good, too.
yeah?
White camp
Which one
litter.
did I have the other night? Oh, yeah, I had a white one. Yeah, no, they're good. No, actually, I had a blue one the other day. I actually, honestly, I like the one that you don't like as much. The fruit punch flavored one.
That's not true. I like all their flavors, Artosis, but
But that one's your least favorite,
that must have been a dream you had. Or maybe I should say a nightmare.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
I normally do have nightmares about what flavor soda you like.
Artosis, that's funny. You woke up from a dream where you actually was a bad dream. You had to wake your wife up and be Tasis didn't like one of the Hot 6 flavors.
Yeah,
She said,
yeah.
honey, it was just a dream.
She's like, honey, we need to talk about how you dream about Nick every night.
Now, on this map, we want to see if and when the gold base is taken for either race. The gold bases are closer to the center, so they're more easily pushed. Some players will avoid getting the gold base early on because they might be stronger, have a bigger army in the later game, depending on the dynamic of how the game is going. And take that later on. Gold base is more pushable, more harassable. 2 platforms on the map. Usually in TVZ, it's the upper platform nowadays. They're both fighting on, but we have had games that are funny where Terran just takes the bottom and pushes through there and tries to kill the Zerg by hitting their main, which does work. We almost never have it in StarCraft 2, but if you can just kill the Zerg's main, usually the dominoes start to fall.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, you know, Generally, we end up seeing Terran take the gold base on this map. Zerg will generally expand to the north because it's further away from Terran. And Terran will oftentimes, as the third base, take the gold and then just kind of rally through it so that everything's a little bit protected by their rally points.
Right.
Which is a really powerful strategy, right? You're not quite as spread out. You're kind of in almost a forward position at that goal to start attacking your opponent. So it's almost easy to like assume that that's what we're going to end up seeing here from Dream. But maybe he has something else to mix in.
And Zoun waiting just around the corner for the winner of this. By the way, all these series today have been
just around the corner.
They've all been marathons, honestly. These have been pretty dramatic games. We haven't had a game where it's like, oh, you lost. Ah. You know?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of your statement, like Zoun hiding around the corner, or just around the corner. I was thinking, like, what if he's hiding there? He's going to scare him. It's like, walk into
it's
the...
just to Zoun the corner. Oh, there's a Roach Warren.
Oh. Well, you know what? There's Hellions. This is a Hellbat build, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Armani is getting a Roach Warren is really quite good for him.
Yes. So let's see how this attack goes. First the drop. Spotted by the Overlord, though. He's like, oh. Goes around its vision, but I think he saw that. He should be ready. And the Roach Warren finishes before the attack commences, but this is all going to be about doing damage at the front.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I really think with these Roaches and Queens, he should be able to hold this.
Now, a lot of times the Queens want to try to hit the medevac. This is a great small counterattack here.
Yeah, that's super nice. Even if it doesn't kill too much. Oh my god, he gets a medevac already.
So far, so good. Transfuses all around. One Queen goes down.
Yeah, let's see what Armani has here for Micro. I mean, there's no medevac, so eventually you should be able to pick this all off. Good splitting.
He is just smashing here. This is a complete and utter failure of an attack here. Dream just dominated, man. Is there counterplay now?
Well, okay, you know, Hellbat pushes. I talk a lot of smack on Hellbat pushes, man, and there's a reason for that.
Can I just do it?
Go ahead, please.
I think these are really just obsolete ways to play the game.
Yeah.
There's, you know, the moment that you get there, and if they have the unit, all they do is stay out of range.
Yeah.
And these are Roaches, by the way. That's how bad Hellbats are in these situations. If the Roaches are like, don't worry, I have a ranged attack.
Yeah.
You're like, I guess technically you do.
Yeah. Oh, look at this Liberator placement. I love that.
Yeah.
He focused down the Overlord with the Mine and Liberator.
Yeah, that was really sexy.
And then put it over that so it can't. That's awesome. That was a great move. I like that.
But again, you know, the Hellbat play, it seems like you're zoning yourself out of a lot of opportunity later on.
Yeah. Well, when it doesn't do anything, it's not like suddenly you're not suddenly happy like, well, at least I have that armory right now.
Yeah.
Like, what's he using the armory for right now? I guess that mine, you can't see it. There you go. Wow. You know?
Yeah.
Also, he doesn't have Hellions on the map right now for pushing back creep, for threatening lings or run-bys or anything like that. I mean, he's getting some out now, but the phase of that part of the game is kind of gone too.
Right.
So, yeah. Hellbat pushes are a big no-no.
So
Hellbat pushes are minus EV. There's a way to put it.
yeah, well, also Hellions don't really help you the same way Marines and medevacs do later on, or tanks for that matter. They can be good, but, you know, if you're going to go toe-to-toe with a really good Zerg, you might need more than that. So from here, this seems to be a game of Armani needing to just deflect whatever other tricks Dream has up his sleeve.
Liberator killing an Overlord.
Yeah, not too impactful. If I was Armani, I would be completely fine with losing that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say he was going to kill it?
Yeah, what are we talking about? Armani's like, you think I have to lose that? By the way, this Liberator is not killing drones in my base. See you later.
Yeah. You remember before they nerfed Liberator anti-air damage?
Yeah.
You remember those few games we had where, like, Maru went only Liberators?
Yes.
That was the silliest stuff.
It's like, should these things have an air attack? I don't know.
Beginning of Legacy of the Void, Protoss went only Adepts. Terran went only Liberators. It beat so much. My God, it
Oh, yeah.
killed Zerg so hard. And then Zerg went 3 base Ling Ravager into Ultra. Wow, that meta at the beginning of Legacy.
What a good time to be alive.
Yeah,
So
good old days.
the 4th base is being taken way up here in the upper left, and this is like really, 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 really far away for the Terran. This is the furthest point on the map for the Terran. This is like, probably you won't be able to get this unless things went really wrong. So one thing that Zerg is really taking advantage of on this map is just the fact that you can expand and stay pretty far away.
Yeah,
There's not much you can do.
You can't really get up there, right? Like how would you? There's so much creep. It's so far away.
Now, on the other side of the map here for Terran, the gold base is being taken, and Zerg seems to be pretty withdrawn overall in this game. So I don't know if that's going to be challenged by the Zerg anytime soon here. We'll see.
Still some decent harassment going down, I would say. Right? Like you get some Hellions in here. The Liberator just got 6 kills itself. Looks like the Hellions aren't going to really do all that much, but they're trying.
And yeah, I think we're in for a long one here, Artosis. Zerg's going to get the 10 mutas out on the map. By the way, Armani has great control here. These Liberators are not getting that much done.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. These mutas are going right by this medevac.
Ooh, what a funny place to drop it.
Yeah.
All right, well, the mutas are coming back, so this is dealt with. Muta's going to deal with each Marine as they pop out.
Yeah, and from here, it's, you know, a matter of, does Terran want to try to push on the gold base? There's not a lot of pushable locations, and that's sort of the way that Armani's played this game, is if the Terran were to push here, the Zerg would probably just eat it up. And so he might, I mean, Dream might just stay on 3 bases for a long time. Zerg may even expand into the upper left or the bottom left instead of the gold base.
Yeah,
This may be a game where Zerg actually mines out his side of the map until it's time to take the gold base.
Yeah.
Then he takes a hatch on each side of the minerals and wins the game.
That would just be silly. But yeah, I think you're right. That kind of like 1135 base, that's probably his next one. That's generally what we see from Zergs, but that's the most pushable one for Terran, right? You're kind of going up like a thinner ramp. So we oftentimes see people do a nice spread there with some mines and Marine, Marauder, Medevac.
So Terran has not really asserted himself on the map, and I think that, you know, this kind of goes into the big picture idea of what we're talking about here, where there's kind of nowhere to actually hit the Zerg, because I think the Zergs actually avoided the bait on the map of the gold base, right? So Terran has a little bit of an accelerant economically, but that doesn't last for long. Gold bases don't stay around.
They'll get tried up.
But Zerg may have the option to start trying to strike, whether it's the gold or one of these other places, a lot.
Well, he's on 80 drones, right? So
Here we go.
has an economy behind him, too.
By the way, this building placement is so good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. Oh, how cool. Okay. He just chucks down a few more corrosive vials. Now, the lack of tanks makes it harder on the Marines and the Marauders to split, because eventually they have to turn around and try to kill the Banelings before they connect. If the tanks are still there, then their splash damage will obliterate the Banelings, and eventually the tides turn. The Zerg takes the fight.
Well, I do like that he's going Thor Mine in their place, at least, right? That's going to give him something when the mine count goes up, but the mines, like, where are they? How many mines does he actually have right now?
Oh, whoa. 9 SCVs were killed there.
Nice. All right, still chasing down this army with, like, a few units that he lost track of. Armani turns and pushes that back. Armani now has his 5th base up and running. Of course, the 4th base has been up for Dream for a little bit. Has been taking damage on the gold, though. And, of course, the gold, like you said, doesn't really last all that long. He's going to be out of minerals there relatively soon.
Again, we're waiting for Dream to try to do a dent here. We don't even have the lower platform as a a factor at this point in time. But there's 2 bases down there that Zerg can take as well. And I think Armani's doing one of the best jobs in ZVT we've seen on this map, by the way.
He's playing a very nice game. Like, don't forget that there wasn't that much pressure on him early on because he went roaches against a Hellbat push.
Right.
But he came out of that too, right? Don't forget, like, if you're going for roaches on 2 bases, then your economy is not, like, super hot either. He's played a nice game. Ultra's Cavern on the way. Getting his 3-3, getting his Adrenal. +2 for the Mutas. This is turning into quite a game right now. I'm a little bit nervous for Dream.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Dream has a lot, and he hasn't really gotten into lethal reach of that base at the top of the map.
Yeah.
And again, you know, Zerg has money to boot. Okay, this was handled very well, but is he going to get that CC? I guess not. I guess those Mutas are chased away. He is now hitting this hatchery up here.
Okay, that's an important kill if he gets it. I think he's just barely not going to.
Yeah, it looks like there's just enough. I don't know how many turrets are in these bases near the top right, but I'd be curious to see what Mutas could do if they were to fly through there.
It's a bit of damage on those Mutas. You know, Ultras are going to be popping out pretty quickly here.
And, you know, Ultras allow you to hold your ground in a fight. Ultras just take so much damage to kill that a lot of times Terrans have to run.
They add so much muscle.
Yeah, especially with Lings and Banelings in combination. There has been a pretty dramatic fight up here at the top, and it looks like actually that base is going to be picked off, so Dream is starting to get the wins that he needed to have.
Yeah, kind of a nice little drop. Draws his attention over. He did get the 5th base during all this. Armani definitely needs to take a 5th because now suddenly we have Dream getting more bases than him, taking the top right. Can't have that. Oh, nice pickoff. The Muta's starting to show their presence here with that +2 attack.
Again, we're seeing Dream box Armani away. The upper right bases have been untouched, by the way. I do like the idea of the Zerg trying to dive on that gold base, but I don't feel like it's the position that he actually needs to win, you know? That gold base is going to mine out Artosis. I feel like what's more important...
It's pretty much gone.
It
right?
does seem like
patches left.
both sides are in the same dilemma, is that no one has a place that's easy to attack into to win fights. Okay, not bad.
Yeah, decent. Yeah, that gold base, not going to happen yet.
Yeah.
Chitinous plating is on the way. +3 finishing up here for Terran.
Mutas are going to go across the map again here. And let's see what they can get done. This is all occurring on the top platform. I feel like it's time for Zerg to go to the bottom. Now, this is what I was waiting for. There's not a ton of turrets here.
Yeah.
Looks like there's enough now that he will barely not keep that. But again, coming in here and killing off these SCVs. It's a long walk for the infantry to get back over here.
Very annoying.
Snipes that
Great
mine.
usage of those Mutas.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's cute. There's one little drop down there to stop drones from taking that lower platform.
Oh,
Terran's
yeah.
actually controlling the platform with just one
I like that.
medevac and Marines inside of it.
It's just a little bit annoying to go down there and clean that up.
Ooh! Gotta
Missed
be
my
careful. The Mutas can heal up if they can get away in time.
Quite a few Ultras being made. Ultra speed, almost done.
Yeah, and good catch there too, by the way, on that medevac. The gold base is almost mined out here.
When do we see people expand to the bottom, do you think?
Soon, I think. Will
Doesn't
anybody take
Zerg become more powerful if... well...
I'm not sure because we don't normally get games that have been stretched out to this
We've never had
limit.
it where it goes... Because we've had this position a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But we haven't had it actually extended to the bottom when it's this big.
And, well, now with the Ultras out, I think this is the moment where Zerg might dominate the top here.
He needs some more mines. Okay, a few of them
Oh
do
my
burrow
God,
there.
so many back there.
Yeah.
Good pull away. But if I'm Zerg, I'm going to the upper right.
Look at this Zerg army. Is there anything scarier than that?
I don't think so.
Well, 2 Immortals in a Prism, but other than that...
Yeah, well, of course. Now, this is where he's cleared the upper right, and I think this is where Zerg's taken the lead and forced a real disadvantage onto the Terran. I think we've finally seen this game lead up into this point. Top right's gone. The other bases, like, it's basically going to be one base mining here for Dream, and even that's going to get low on minerals. And he's forcing a lot of stims and a lot of scrambling of defense everywhere. And I think behind this, we had I think 28 more Banes just made. Terran going to try to counter push, but let's see how that actually goes. I'm worried that Zerg's going to chase the Terran into the Zerg's upper left base and then kill him.
Yeah, that might be what we see here in a moment. He's got to lift up and bring him to the high ground. That is too many Banelings to deal with.
Yeah, the Banelings just continue to spill through. The Mutas can now hit the Liberators. And, I mean, this is just too much. And Zerg is maxed out while this is happening. There's 11 Mutas being made. Now does the game seesaw to the upper right.
Yeah, let's not forget, though, Armani's out of bank, okay? If Dream can deal with what he has, which doesn't seem too likely, that's a lot of Ultras, then there might still be a chance here.
Yeah,
but it's looking grim.
It is definitely looking grim, Artosis. Coming through here, the Banes and the Ultras force their position. That's an orbital, which means there's no hope that's going to make it. Now, he may have overextended here with his Ultralisks.
Yeah, it's hard to attack with Ultras, that's for sure.
You need Lings with him. Doesn't matter. Armani wins that game and gets the rematch against Zoun. Very exciting stuff.
You can see how happy Armani is from that. Keeps his hopes alive. If he can make round of 8, that is gigantic. Of course, he has to go up against Zoun again. That was a close one before in some ways, but Zoun looking a bit better. Dream, I actually, after that first game, I thought he was going to be able to take it. But Armani, showing some class.
He's a fighter. You can see these guys are friends. It's kind of a bittersweet moment for both of them. But now it's going to be Zoun, the last player.
That's going to be exciting, another PVZ from him.
Yeah. Now, Zoun came in here with some pretty sharp strategies, but I don't think those can be recycled into the rematch.
Yeah. Well, it matters how solid he thinks they actually are, I guess. How counterable are they?
We're going to have a short break when we come back, the final best of 3, to see who is the second survivor to get to the round of 16. Armani or Zoun? Round of 8.